welcome to you all to the Sunday service. Now the next part of the service is talk. And the subject of the talk today is one goal, many paths. So, we know there are many goals, not only one goal in life. We want to have a comfortable life. We want to have a healthy body. We want to have good neighbors and good relatives. So there are so many goals. We want to have decent living. So many goals in life. But if you boil it all to one, it becomes we want to be happy in life. All these are the means to be happy and peaceful. Happiness and peace are in fact the same thing. So in the Gita it is said, one cannot become happy without peace. Ashantasya kutas sukham. Where is happiness for one who is without peace? So that is the goal of life, happiness and peace. In Hinduism it is said that there are 4 goals of life. 4 purushartha, things to be achieved. What are by a person? What are these? They are dharma, artha, kama and moksha. One is called dharma, which is said to be the duty, or it's defined in many ways, like a duty or religious practice, or the best definition is, it should be, dharma is the one what makes you human being. You perform those actions, you behave in such a way you are a real human being. Don't decline yourself to animalistic behavior. Then that is dharma. For that, whatever is needed to do, you perform that act. You behave in that way. So dharma is one goal of human life. Then artha, you want possessions, you want wealth, you need that in life. So that becomes goal also. You need to have sufficient amount of wealth to have a nice, comfortable living. Then the third goal of life is dharma, artha, kama, the desires. You have certain legitimate desires, you want to fulfill those. So fulfilling the desires is also a goal according to Hindu religion. And the fourth goal is moksha, is a liberation, freedom from all bondage, freedom from all limitations, freedom from all incompleteness and the feeling of imperfection. That is called moksha. Dharma, artha, kama and moksha, these 4 are said to be the human goal. But what is the final goal? One goal is to attain the highest ideal of human life. What we think to be the highest, we want to achieve that, we want to get that. That is the one goal of every human being, whether he follows religion or doesn't follow religion. Someone wants to serve humanity. For him or her, serving the humanity without any other consideration. He doesn't even or she doesn't even care for his own comforts, for money, for name and fame. He wants to serve humanity. He wants to remove the suffering of humanity. That is the highest ideal for that person. And that is, you can say, God for that person. For other, maybe the amassing wealth is the highest ideal. He wants to be rich. By any means he wants to be rich. He doesn't consider honesty, he doesn't consider trust, he wants to be rich. By winning lottery, by earning money by any way. But that becomes the highest ideal for that person. For that person, practically money is God. For money gives him happiness, whatever he thinks. He sees the bank balance, he sees his investment, he sees his securities growing, and he feels happy. And he feels secure in that. For him, for that time being, that money is God for all practical purposes. As the devotee thinks God will give him ultimate happiness and peace, that person thinks money will give him ultimate happiness and peace. Nothing there is more than money for that. And for some, it is the highest ideal is something in which, reaching which, he will find himself to be free from all bondages, incompleteness, imperfections of human life. I feel I am weak, I feel I am bound, I feel I am dependent on so many things on so many persons, so many things in the world. So this dependence on things for my own happiness, I feel that is not the ideal. I want to be free from all those dependence, this slavery for trying to listen good words, trying to say, give me little love, give me little praise, give me name and fame, give me all comforts of life. That all for that person is like becoming a slave to his nature. Always wanting something. You degrade yourself, you are not independent, you are not free, you are bound for so many things to the world. So for that person, getting rid of all this bondage is the highest goal, and that is God, attaining God. So God is defined many ways for many persons. Whatever is the highest ideal of a person, that is God for him. So there can be many goals in life, but ultimate goal for every person, whether one believes in God or not, the highest goal is to find peace and happiness, the permanent peace and happiness which is never taken away. So that is the highest ideal. For a devotee, it is nothing else than God. What is God for a devotee? It is that state or that being where he finds all perfection. The God is always peaceful, always happy, enormous power, enormous love, enormous bliss. He is the infinite, he contains everything infinity, and that is God. I want that God, means I want to reach that state that God experiences. When I say I want to love Jesus, I want to become like Jesus, means I want to experience the peace and bliss that Jesus experienced in his life. I want to become like Krishna, who was never distracted. I want to become like Rama, who was ready to follow anything that came in life with peace and happiness. I want to become like Sri Krishna or Sri Ramakrishna, who was never seen to be morose in any condition. Always peaceful, always happy. Sri Ramakrishna is described like a cantaloupe which is broken away. And from that the seed come out. Like that was his happiness coming out. From his face, always joy was emanating. Futi fata ananda in Bengali it is said. Like there is a cantaloupe called futi, and that when it breaks, the seeds just burst out. Like that was the happiness always bursting out from Sri Ramakrishna in every condition. In every condition. He had broken his arm. People used to come and he used to ask, oh, see, my arm is broken. What to do? How it will be cured? But that's all just for conversation. Nothing deterred his peace. Nothing diminished his joy. And those who love Sri Ramakrishna wants to attain that state when nothing of the world can reduce their peace of mind. Yam labdhva chaparam labham manyate nadikam tita. I want to gain to that state attaining which no other thing seems to be gaining. I don't want to get any other thing. Any other gain seems to be lesser than needed. I want to reach that state. And that is God realization. That is the highest attainment of highest ideal. That is the goal. Yasmin sthito na dukkhena gurunapi vichalyate. If I read that, even the severest of pain will not distract me, disturb me. Severest of pain, guruna dukkha na vichalyate. What is the severest pain? What is the severest suffering? Pain of the body. That won't disturb me. Loss of the dear one, that won't disturb my peace of mind. Loss of money, loss of job, nothing will come. Ultimately, old age and death, approaching death, it doesn't distract me. I am always peaceful because I have retained that state, attaining which no other gain seems to be important. Yasmin sthito na dukkhena gurunapi vichalyate. And that is the goal for human being, to attain, to reach that state. And that highest ideal for many of us is termed God. God means that highest state. So there are how to get God. That is the thing. Swami Vivekananda in his youth traveling from one person to another all over Calcutta and asking, is there anyone who has really seen God? And he used to ask people who are religious, spiritual leaders of his time in the big metropolis of Calcutta, and sir, you are a great preacher, you practice so much of religion, so many people respect you, so many people come to listen to your lecture. But I have a question to you. Have you seen God whom you preach so much? And nobody could say. And finally he found in Sri Ramakrishna, whom he asked, sir, have you seen God? He said, I see God. He didn't say, I have seen God. When one person sees God once, he sees God always. That is getting established in God's vision. I see God, and I see God more intensely than I see you. God vision becomes so intense experience that is more clear, more intense, more palpable than we see the objects of the world. And Sri Ramakrishna could say that, I have seen God. Sri Ramakrishna practiced wonderful religious practices in this world which were never practiced by any other spiritual leader. Varieties. So many varieties of spiritual disciplines, religious discipline he practiced. I'm going to talk that. And after that he said, there are many paths to attain God. And he said, all paths are true. And his one famous saying is, don't be dogmatic. Dogmatic is, we tend to feel that whatever we have believed, that alone is right. That alone can give fulfillment. No other path is right. We are confined in the dogma that we believe. And others feeling, we don't care. We don't have faith in that. We don't feel that they really can reach at that state by following their path. Sri Ramakrishna said, no, every religion is true. Every path is right. And they can lead to that same blessedness, same highest state, that which can lead your own path. So don't be dogmatic. Don't think that my path alone is right. My God alone is God. That is being dogmatic. That is very much narrowness. That you have not become broad. You have not seen the truth. When you reach that little progress in your path and feel that my path is right, you have not reached God. If you reach God, then you will find every path is right. Because if you want to reach to Mount Everest and you are going through the south face, and so this alone is the way, there is no other way. And you go there and you find there another person has already come. So when did you come? I didn't see you going earlier also. Oh, I came from another north face. Oh, there is another way also to come to Mount Everest. Yes, there is way. Before you reach, you don't understand. But when you reach at the summit, you find, yes, another path is leading through the north face. So, going to Toronto, so many paths. You go through one path and say, that alone is the best path. Most quickly it will go. Another person reaches before you. There are other paths also. So, like that, don't be dogmatic. Never think that your path alone is right. This happens in everything. Not only in religion. Even small, minor ideas. What I think is right. What I plan is right. That is the best. Don't ever have that dogmatic feeling. It is incomplete. Once Swamiji was giving a talk and he said, many windows, one goal. So what are the many windows? Like many paths. You lead and you progress in that religious path and you see something of light coming. You have not reached the pinnacle, you have not reached the peak, summit. And you say, oh, this alone is the path. And you see something, open the window and see something. But you don't see the whole of the meadow. Big meadow is there and a small hole is there and you see a portion of that meadow. You don't see the whole of that. It is obstructed because the window is small and one. To get the whole picture, you have to come out of the house. Then you can get the whole picture you can see. It is vast, infinite. So don't be confined and feel that my path alone is right. There is no other path right. They say that one story that Catholics believe that only Catholics go to heaven. No other religious can go. So people were dying and going to heaven. They have done different nice works and devoted to God. And when it went to there, and then St. Peter said, your is room number 27 in this big mansion of heaven, but while passing through room number 12, don't make any sound, don't disturb the people. So another thing was a Lutheran, Another Baptist comes and says, oh, your room number is room number 25, but take care that going through room number 12, be quiet and don't make any disturbance. So after he was sitting, St. Peter was saying like that to many persons. One person asked, why you ask us not to make any noise or make any sound near room number 12? Oh, in room number 12, there are Catholics. And they think they are the only one in heaven, so I don't want to disturb them. But everyone in heaven. So let them feel that way. But everyone, those who do good work, who are devoted to God, who are kind, compassionate, so honest, they go to heaven. So that is the dogmatism, that only those who follow my path go to the highest, attain the highest. That is called dogmatism. And Sri Ramakrishna said, don't be dogmatic. Not in religion, not in any other thing also. Sri Ramakrishna is the prophet of harmony, often is described as. His wonderful life was that he didn't read the scriptures much. He heard something, but somehow he had a great yearning for God. He was appointed a priest, a worshipper in the temple. And what he was worshipping? A form of God in a feminine statue, feminine image, called Mother Kali, which is the symbol of Divine Mother, the primal energy. And he started worshipping according to ritualistic worship with flower and whatever was the Hindu religion that worship. And while worshipping, he was such a person that a question came to him. Am I worshipping this only the stone statue? Or there is God? If there is no God, what is there to worship? The image as the God. So, saying that, he started saying that, but he had the feeling that God is there and wanted to have the vision of God. Wanted to see really God is there, worshipped in that statue. Then he had yearning and he started praying. Mother, if you are there, please show me. And he said that you have shown me to other person in your past. Many have seen, many devotees have seen you. Why am I unable to see you? With his sheer yearning, sheer prayer and faith, he really saw Mother Divine. The image became living to him. That he could feel the breath coming out. He would put hands below the nostril and he could feel Mother, the Divine Mother is breathing in his hand. He put the cotton there and cotton moved by the force of Mother's breathing. That was his feeling. Then after realizing Mother, what he does? He sees Mother is not only in statue. Mother is in a cat. One day he was worshipping Mother, one cat came and said, oh Mother, you have come in the form of cat. Come eat this. And what was to be offered to Divine Mother, to God, he offers to cat. People see all around and say, what this worshipper, what this priest has become. He has gone crazy, he has gone mad. He is not following the rules of rituals. One day what Sri Ramakrishna did after realizing Mother there, he started seeing Mother in himself. The difference between the devotee and the God was obliterated, was gone. And he was worshipping Mother. Instead of putting the flower in Mother's feet, he puts flower in his own feet. He wants to offer food to Mother, he eats himself. Because he sees Mother there inside. But what other people see? Other people see that he is eating food before offering flowers not to the deity but to himself. And they complain to the owner of the temple. Owner of the temple was a very devoted person. By God's grace, she could understand and her son-in-law could understand it's a divine thing, it is a high state of realization, so don't disturb. It's right. They supported that. Otherwise, all were against Sri Ramakrishna. After realizing God as Divine Mother, that Mother, God is there and God manifests as Divine Mother through the stone statue in the Dakshineswar temple, Sri Ramakrishna, that desire came. What about Hanuman? Hanuman is said to be the great devotee of God who chanted the name, to whom the Sri Ramachandra was the highest ideal, master was the highest thing. He could give up anything in the world for the sake of Ramachandra. So he thought to practice the moods of Hanuman as a devotee of Sri Rama. So for that, Hanuman is supposed to be a monkey personality and he's supposed to live in the trees. Sri Ramakrishna also started living on the trees. And thinking of himself as Hanuman, his eyes became look like restless, like monkey eyes, looking like here and there, left and right, up and down. And they say that thinking of Hanuman himself so intensely for so many days, his coccyx had grown a little longer. The tail was growing. And this happens, it is not unusual. Before Sri Ramakrishna also, we know the story of Saint Francis of Assisi, how stigmata had appeared on his feet and hands. Because he was meditating on Christ, the crucified Christ. And that pain, thinking of those pain, really there were external marks of stigmata, the sign of nails appearing on the hands and feet of Saint Francis of Assisi. The same thing happened, physical change by the constant mental thinking on that devotee. For him, Rama was everything. He didn't go to Kali temple, he didn't do anything. Rama, he was always repeating the name of Rama, and he kept himself as the servant of Rama. And he saw Rama one day. That vision he had. After that, one lady came and Sri Ramakrishna asked his assistant, call that lady, why she has come? Sri Ramakrishna was never spoke with ladies and never invited any lady to his room. Then this assistant thinks, why is my uncle, he was in fact he was nephew also, asking that lady to come to his room? And lady also, when they asked, my master, my uncle is calling you, will you come to meet him? So that lady also came. And that lady was Bhairavi Brahmani. And that Bhairavi Brahmani, he says, that lady says, oh, you are here, I was searching you here and there. How do you know? I had seen in a vision that I had to teach 3 persons this Tantra. You are the last, third one. 2 I have already taught. And she asked Sri Ramakrishna, do you agree? Sri Ramakrishna, he said yes. And this Bhairavi Brahmani started teaching him Tantra. There are many branches of Tantra, many difficult practices, difficult articles to be collected. She used to collect whole day, then bring those and perform all the rituals according to the scriptures. There are 64 branches of Tantra. And she taught every Tantra Sri Ramakrishna could get perfection and attain the highest, whatever was expected to attain, through all the Tantras. 64 Tantras he practiced with Bhairavi Brahmani. That was another practice. After these tantric disciplines were finished, Sri Ramakrishna somehow felt, what about Radha's love for Krishna? So he wanted, now earlier he behaved as Hanuman, now he wants to behave as Radha, as Gopi. So he becomes like feminine. He forgot that he was a man. He just became feminine, he started wearing feminine dress, talking like a woman and thinking of Krishna alone. And finally he saw Krishna also. It is called Madhura Bhava. Madhura Bhava was often suggested that how can one attain thinking God as her beloved. Sri Ramakrishna said, this is also a path. God can be attained through Madhura Bhava. And he attained that God. He practiced that sadhana, Madhura Bhava, for 6 months. He behaved like a woman, thinking of only Krishna and considering himself as woman, as Gopi. So that he did. After that, you see how many practices. One practice is sufficient to reach you to God. Sri Ramakrishna was not satisfied. You are doing one after another. Now the thought come to him, what about Vatsalya Bhava? They say God can be seen as child, as son or daughter. So when he was thinking that, one saint, the mendicant sannyasi comes and he said, I love this baby Rama called Ram Lala, and I find that this Ram Lala wants to live with you. He had also vision of Ram Lala. He had a statue, and the statue was living with that monk. And he said, Ram Lala wants to stay with you. Will you keep him? He said, of course. Then he started practicing Vatsalya Bhava, treating that statue of Rama as his own son, God as his own child. And he started bathing him, started feeding him, started talking with him. Now he was the parent, Ramakrishna was the parent, and Rama was the child God, son God for him. And he used to take to the Ram Lala to bathe in the Ganga. For others, he was taking a statue. For Sri Ramakrishna, it was living boy, living God as boy he was taking. to bathe. And in Ganga, that boy Ramlala used to splash water, used to swim, used to go deeper into the river. Sri Ramakrishna used to scold him, "Where are you going?" And sometimes he punished him. Then he said, "What I am doing? You were so much loved by Mother Kausalya and other mothers, and I am punishing you." And he started crying in front of Ramlala. So he could feel the presence of Rama, baby Rama in Ramlala through the path of Vatsalya. Then came one Totapuri, a great Advaita sannyasi, great philosopher who had realized the unity of the universe, the real truth, beyond all this manifestation of Brahman. He had gone to the root of the truth, the ultimate, unchanging, that infinite bliss, Satchidananda Brahma he had realized. And he came to Ghat and he saw Sri Ramakrishna, a man of realization, glowing with joy, glowing with purity. Seeing him, he just could recognize, here is something very special. I have never seen such type of face in the world. And he said, "Do you want to learn Vedanta? Do you want to learn Advaita?" And Sri Ramakrishna said, "I don't know." He was quite grown up, maybe 30, 35 years. And he said, "I have to ask my mother." So she thought he would go to ask mother. So Sri Ramakrishna went. Instead of going to any human mother, he goes to the temple and asks to that statue for whom all others for a stone image. He goes there and asks, "Mother, one person has come, one monk, and he wants to teach me Advaita Vedanta. Should I learn from him?" And he comes dancing, jumping into the monk and said, "Yes, mother has given permission, and she said me that for this purpose only she brought you here." So this sannyasin had come by the will of Divine Mother so that he learns Advaita from him. So Sri Ramakrishna starts doing Advaita sadhana. Advaita sadhana, when one transcends all this duality, this all sense of ego, and has to merge ego in that non-dual reality. Sri Ramakrishna was practicing, meditating on the self, which is beyond all duality, beyond mind, beyond body, beyond this world, beyond any form of God. So when he was meditating, the mother's form would come, whom he had meditated so much. Divine Mother in blissful form would come to him. He tried to go beyond that. His mind was stuck in that. He told to his guru, whose name was Totapuri, "Oh, I can't take my mind beyond that. Whenever I try to meditate on Supreme Brahman, the formless Brahman, Mother's blissful form comes in front of me. I can't go beyond that." Then Totapuri said, "No, you have to meditate." Then he inflicts a pain. There was a piece of glass on the ground, and he puts that between the eyebrows of Sri Ramakrishna and presses deep and says, "Do you feel pain?" He says, "Yes." "Now meditate here on this pain and go beyond the thought of form. Go to the formless aspect of God." Sri Ramakrishna again started meditating on that. Mother again came in the blissful form, leaving intimate presence of Mother. Then he said, "Now I used discrimination as a sword and cut the form of Mother into two. As soon as I did this, my mind soared high and merged in that formless aspect." He attained Advaita Siddhi when ego was completely lost, and he was there in that state for within 3 days of sadhana. He attained that, and he was in that state for 6 long months without any trace of ego. He was there, and people came and helped him. So this was another experience that he gained by the will of Mother. How many experiences you see as a God, experiencing God as a baby, experiencing God as a woman, as a companion, experiencing God as a servant, experiencing God in the formless aspect. Then came to his thought, what about other people worship God? What about Muslims? How do they worship God? And somehow he got a Muslim guru who taught him in the Muslim way. And then he started wearing like Muslim, he started dressing like a Muslim dress, Muslim weird clothes, and then he started doing namaz 5 times. Never went to the Kali temple. All photographs in his room were removed. He became totally a devout Muslim. And started just thinking of Allah on the guidance of that teacher. And 3 days were passed, then he had the vision of a person, and he reached that state where he said a culmination of devotion according to Muslims. Then arose come when once he had gone to a person's house, and he found there is a picture of Madonna with the child. A ray of light came from the child's body, from the picture entered him, and he felt all his Hindu beliefs are going away, and he wanted to learn how the Christians pray, and he had the vision of a church where the Christians were praying, devout Christians were kneeling down before the altar, before the cross, and they were reading the Bible, and he saw that vision. For 3 days he was continuous in the thought of Jesus, forgot all other things, and finally he was walking in Panchavati in the place of his sadhana. He found a tall man with a beard coming towards him. He said, "Who is this?" Then he realized, "Oh, it is Jesus whom I am meditating." Tall, fair complexion. But he said, but he had flat nose. Nose was not that aquiline and tip was not that sharp nose. Then he came and he just embraced Sri Ramakrishna and merged in the body of Sri Ramakrishna. Later on, he was talking with Saradananda, Vivekananda, young disciple, and said, "I had the vision of Christ, but I saw him, his nose was a little flat at the tip, it was not the sharp tip." They said, "But Jesus was a Jew and he should have sharp tip." Later on they found, after Sri Ramakrishna passed away, there is a description where Jesus' nose is said not to be the sharp nose, little flat nose. So that was Sri Ramakrishna. So he could get vision of God in so many ways. Was it wonder for Sri Ramakrishna to say that all paths lead to the same goal? And he did it by his own experience, that all paths would lead to the same goal. He said, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, all these are the valid paths. Whichever path you follow, you will reach the same goal. What does Jnana Yoga say? Discriminate between the real and unreal. Always discard the unreal, accept the real. This world is unreal. What is real? What is permanent is real. Whatever temporary is unreal. So just refuse to accept whatever is unreal. So then try to fix your mind on real. So by doing this, you negate the world, you negate your body, and ultimately you go to your stuff called Atma, which is the reality of Brahman. And then they say Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. Only reality is Brahman, which are you, Jivo Brahmaiva Napara, and Jagat is Mithya. Mithya is not that non-existent, it exists, but for the time being, it is not the ultimate reality. So focus your mind. That's called Jnana Yoga. And then Karma Yoga is also true. So Sri Ramakrishna says, what is Karma Yoga? Karma Yoga, its aim is to fix one's mind on God by means of work. If a householder performs his duties in the world in a spirit of detachment, surrendering the results to God, and with devotion to God in his heart, he too may be said to practice Karma Yoga. To work without attachment and offering all the fruits of action to God. Nothing you want as a result of your work. I don't want name, I don't want fame, I don't want praise, I don't want blame, I don't want anything. Whatever is being done, I offer all to God. So that becomes Karma Yoga. Further, Sri Ramakrishna says, if a person performs worship, japa and other forms of devotion, surrendering the result to God, he may be said to practice Karma Yoga. That is also Karma Yoga. When you offer everything to God, you do japam, Sri Krishna Arpanam. You offer that. Fruits of all good actions, you do good to some other people, you offer that to God. That becomes Karma Yoga. You don't want anything for yourself. You just do good for doing good sake. That is Karma Yoga. And there is Raja Yoga. When one tries to steal the mind is always in waves. So these waves create the disturbance and suffering. So if you steal the mind, truth will come by itself. Sorry. So, Raja Yoga said, Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodham. The mind is like a lake, and you drop some stone on the lake, but you find there are waves coming. The stone can be from outside, from inside. From your samskaras, from your desires, from your inclinations, that can be stone. And stone can come from outside. You hear something, you see something, that is also a stain on the mind. And this stone thrown on the lake will bring ripples. And when ripple is there, you can't see the truth that is lying at the base of the water. So make the mind still and truth will come. So making the mind still, calm, without any ripple, no thought, arresting all thoughts, that is the goal of Raja Yoga. It is difficult, but for that you have to control your senses, control the mind, sit in meditation, perform yama, niyama, and all those things, then you can reach that reality. That is also reality. You can go by that only. You don't have to worship God. You don't have to be. You don't have to practice even discrimination. Just try to control your mind. So that is another way. But Sri Ramakrishna said, the best way is Bhakti Yoga for Kali Yuga, where you accept everything. That you don't have to say world is unreal, but you put God as your most beloved thing. Bring God in your life, worship Him, think of Him, pray to Him, be always associated with Him. And that is called Bhakti Yoga. There are you and there is your God. And for everything you go to God, as Sri Ramakrishna used to go to Mother Kali. And God becomes a part of your life. Whatever decision is to be taken, you go and pray to Him. You get some answer. Whatever good comes, you go and tell Him, oh, this good happened in my family. That is Bhakti Yoga. And whatever bad happens, Lord, why this happened to me? Please take away my suffering. You go look to God for everything. That is Bhakti Yoga. That way, all these paths, all these yogas lead to the same goal. Swami Vivekananda came to Chicago in 1893 to represent Hinduism. In his famous lecture, first lecture, he said, Ruchi nam vaichitrya vijuputilanana patajusham nrinam eko gamyas tomasi payasam maranavaiva. He said, there are so many paths, so many religions, so many methods of worship, but all, O Lord, lead to you like various rivers, straight or crooked, going to merge in the ocean. You are the ocean, the rivers are the path. Similarly, path, religions are the path, you are the goal. Sri Ramakrishna said, by realizing the Divine Mother of the universe, you will get knowledge as well as devotion. You will get both. There is no difference between knowledge and devotion. Both have the same experience. You love God intensely, or you realize yourself as the Atma. It is the same experience. You are non-egoistic, you are all-loving, you are compassionate, you are undisturbed by the world. It is the same experience. Whatever path you go, if you can reach that ideal, you have reached the goal. Goal is one. Paths are many. We have the story of Gopal's mother. Gopal's mother was a devotee of Sri Krishna as the baby Gopala, baby Krishna. And she used to do japam. Illiterate person, widow, since her very young age. And whole life she used to do japam on Krishna's name and used to serve baby Krishna with flower worship, decorating, wearing, putting her clothes and feeding her, waking her up, sleeping her. That was her only pillar for living. And finally, one day she finds that Gopala is living. He is talking. He starts crawling to him. He puts Gopala on his lap and walks to Dakshineswar. She had known Sri Ramakrishna earlier. He says, Gopala, it is here. Sri Krishna is coming. And she feels Sri Krishna leaving small legs hitting her chest. So she felt the presence of Gopala. And Sri Ramakrishna said, yes, your vision is right. Narendra was skeptic at that time. He didn't believe in the forms of God. He was a worshipper of formless God. Then he said, Naren, I have such experience. Is it the figment of my mind or is it true? Narendra said, Mother, when you have experience, it must be true. And then what happened to that lady later on? When she got old, then she is seeing Gopala not only in the image, she is seeing Gopala in everyone. Everyone becomes Gopala for her, and finally she herself becomes Gopala. See that God, baby Krishna, she feels in her presence. And she used to say, now Gopala has to eat. Means she will go and eat. Now Gopala's time to sleep. She will go and sleep. But it's not just a saying. It is just realizing that God is everywhere, including herself. Nothing else exists but God. She has reached the ultimate goal. And what the pain can be? One who sees God in everything. The death is not separation from anything that you love. Death is the embracing the highest and the best. That happens. Babahari Baba was once beaten by a snake. What happens when we are bitten by a snake? We are afraid we will die, poison, where is anti-venom and all that thing, injection, doctor. Babahari Baba asked, what happened? You were bitten by a snake? Don't worry, nothing happened. It was a call from the most beloved. God wants me to go to His place. He is the best beloved, most beloved of mine. What is to worry? Death doesn't matter for them. Death is the way. When Buddha became ill by eating the food from one person, and he was to die, he got diarrhea, food poisoning, and he was to give up the body, 80 years of age. Then he said, when I was very sick and doing practice, one Sujata brought one porridge. I ate that, then I could survive. If I had not eaten that, I would have died and have not got the nirvana, not bodhi. So she is a great support of me. Without her, I couldn't have that knowledge. Now this person fed me something, he did food poisoning. He is also equally as great a supporter and helper of me as was Sujata. Because of him, I can be freed from the bondage of body and get merged in nirvana. So for them, death is getting that bliss which was little limited by this body. This body, mind are the limitation to the experience of that highest bliss. They feel that way. Nothing bothers to those person, to the highest person. Shankara was such a great jnani, but how great bhakta he was. He wrote so many beautiful stotras on Divine Mother, on Krishna, on Shiva, so many beautiful. He made many temples all over India, many mats. So this jnana and bhakti can not only can, they should go together, and they go together. There is no distinction between that. Sri Ramakrishna was such a devotee of Holy Mother. Swami Vivekananda seemed to be such a man of knowledge, always preaching Vedanta. Then Swami Vivekananda asked, what is the reality of you and Sri Ramakrishna? He said, Sri Ramakrishna was all bhakta outside, but all jnana inside. He had the supreme knowledge. And you see me, I am all jnana outside, but all bhakta inside. Inside me is a great devotee who is supremely devoted to Sri Ramakrishna, supremely devoted to God. So jnana and bhakti are not antagonistic. Christianity and Hinduism are not antagonistic. Islam and Buddhism are not antagonistic. They are different paths to reach that goal, which is called Allah, Nirvana, Brahma, Father in heaven. The goal is same. Names are different. Sri Ramakrishna gives the example of a reservoir, water, pond. People going from different steps, from different sides to fetch the water. And one person said, I had gone to, one English-speaking person says, I had gone to fetch water. The Bengali person says, I am going there to fetch the jal. Another person says, no, there is pani. So all they call, no, there is pani, and then say there is water, they say there is jal. They may fight that, but the thing is one. Names are different. Sri Ramakrishna gives one beautiful example. One person was coming from the forest and came to village and said, today in the forest, under the tree, I saw a wonderful, beautiful animal, small animal, reptile, and it was so red in color and beautiful looking. He was talking with a friend, and another friend said, what do you say red? I have seen that animal under that tree, what you are describing, but it is green in color. Another friend says, why are you lying? That animal I have also seen, but it is yellow in color. So all they were quarreling, you are not saying right, you didn't say right thing, your eyes have gone bad. They started quarreling. They say, let's go to that place, I will show you it is red. I will say it is green. Another say, I will show you it is yellow. All they come under the tree, and they don't see the animal, but they found one man sitting beneath that tree. And he said, have you seen an animal here which is red in color? I saw it. No, it is green in color. I say, no, it is yellow in color. That man said, please keep quiet. Why do you quarrel on this thing? I live under this tree, I have seen this animal. It is chameleon. It is sometimes red, sometimes green, sometimes yellow. And sometimes it has no color. It is the one and same animal. Why do you quarrel on these external things? Animal is that. That is God. We see God according to our mind. And God also reveals according to what we wish. God is so beautiful being, so compassionate. I want to see Him as Shiva, with lot of mats and snake decorated and ash smeared. God comes in the form of Shiva. I'm so happy on that. Another person wants to see God as Krishna, with flute playing, nice peacock feather in the hair, and yellow robes with ornaments. And God, that same very God, comes in front of Krishna to him. So God is so compassionate, whatever we want to see, God comes to us in front of that. But in our dogmatic mind, we forget that there are many paths, God can have many forms, and it can be formless, we forget that. Oh, God is without form, God cannot have a form. This I become dogmatic. No, God has only form, God cannot become formless. It is your mind's that word, we become dogmatic. There was a dogmatic, in Sri Ramakrishna's Gospel, there is a story of a person who was a great devotee of Shiva. And he didn't want any other form of God. He hated other form of God. Especially there were other Vaishnavites who worshipped Vishnu. He didn't like the form of Vishnu at all. So what happened? So Shiva thought, he is my devotee and great devotee. And why this dogmatism has entered into his mind, I have to clear him that Vishnu and Shiva are same. Though two different forms, it is the same God appearing sometimes as Vishnu, sometimes as Shiva. He should not be so dogmatic on that. Being compassionate on that devotee of Shiva, Shiva appears as in front of him. Not as Shiva, but half Shiva and half Vishnu. Half is matted locks, one arm has a snake, another arm has jewels, and have the mukut, like that thing. This man saw Shiva and Vishnu both coming. His Lord appeared in front of him. He brought flowers, he brought incense sticks, he brought light, and the flower he was offering, 2 feet, one was of Shiva, one of Vishnu. He offered only to the feet of Shiva. Vishnu is neglected. I don't see. He doesn't look at Vishnu's side at all. Half side doesn't look, only half side is looking. Then he did dhupam, and he found dhupam, he found only towards the Shiva side, and dhupam, he found that fragrance, smoke is going to both nostrils. He brought one cotton and put on the Vishnu side. So Vishnu can smell that, only Shiva can smell that. So that is called dogmatism. Dogmatism, when it enters, it can become so narrow-minded if you don't understand the thing. So Sri Ramakrishna came to us to say, dogmatism is wrong. Saying that my religion alone is right and others are wrong, others are not right, is wrong. It is incomplete, it is delusion. All religions are true, all paths are true, all forms of God are true, all names of gods are true. That's why you see in Hinduism there is Vishnu Sahasranama. Not satisfied with one name. I want 1,000 names of God. In Islam also there are 99 names of Allah. So God can be remembered, worshipped, enjoyed through various names, through various forms, through various religions. When we accept all religions, when you go to the mosque and say, here also God is worshipped as Allah. My God is worshipped as Allah. My God is worshipped as Jesus. My God is worshipped as Shiva. My God is worshipped as Jarathus, as the Father in heaven, or Ahura Mazda. Like that if you say, then you enjoy your life of human life more by being in God and enjoying God with so many types. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, I enjoy music. I don't want only one note of a flute, like oh. There are 7 holes, and I want to enjoy the 7 types of ragas and raginis, different melodies being played through the flute. So that is when we understand that God exists, one God appears as many, and there are various paths, various religions to read that God, and we respect all God and all paths and all religions are as belonging to humanity, which is my family. When we say Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the whole world is my family. It's all religions are my different forms of religions. Some of my brothers want this, some of my brothers want this. You stick to your own faith, own path, but accept all other as valid for them. And be certain that what you want to reach through your path, other will reach through by following their